I'm really excited to have this conversation with you today. And the reason I am is because it's really going to help you in your marriage. Maybe you had a great year and you just wanted to strengthen your marriage and deepen your bond with your husband or your wife. Or maybe you had a really lonely year, a really difficult time in your marriage, a lot of distance. Maybe you're heartbroken. Well, you're not alone. And I really believe I'm going to be sharing 4 habits with you that if you even implement one of these, it will make a difference. And maybe you implement other things as you go. You talk to your spouse together. You work together on these things. But I just want you to have hope, and I just want you to know that things can get better. No matter how bad it is or how bad it has been, it can get better. And no matter how great it's been, it can always be better because you're growing. A marriage is growing. A relationship is growing. You're growing deeper. You're learning new sides of each other. And, these habits will deepen your friendship. It will help you listen more, help you communicate better, help you connect, and also help you have fun. We're going to be talking about that today, playing together, having fun. So I'm so glad you're here today. So glad you downloaded this video. So let's get right into it. The very first thing that I think you have to think about is making relational margin in your marriage. And what that means is making space, making room. I know you're busy, but those are the things that steal relationships, steal the connection you have, steal any kind of relationship, but especially marriage. People are busy working, running around with the kids, high-functioning homes, but not much intimacy. And when there's not a lot of intimacy and closeness in a home, it really affects the atmosphere. So so that's what it is. It's finding space, finding room, finding time and emotional space. That's relational space. Time and emotional space where you can connect, where you can put everything aside, where you're maybe resting together, connecting together, being real together. It's just you and him, or you and her. And that's what you're going to have to find time. Because if you don't, what happens is there's a real disconnect where communication stops almost altogether. There's not much intimacy, not much talking at all. And you start to do things more separate. When you are doing things, you don't feel together. You got your phones out. And it really will affect your marriage in such a detrimental way. There'll be more anger, more defensive-ness. You'll be fighting for each other's attention. Brings out a lot of insecurities. And so I just want to encourage you to think about this. Let this be a different year for you. And maybe you had a difficult year and you don't even want to spend time with this person. Well, you have to, because if there's no room in your marriage for this, then you can't build a closer relationship. You can't heal together. You can't hear each other. You can't be fulfilled. You can't be happy. And so I just want to really encourage you. And here's just a few things. I remember one couple, they had 3 little children, and they just couldn't find time. They couldn't find time to go on a date. And so what they did is they just took, after the babies were in bed and everything was done, they took 1 hour a night to spend with each other. And that got them through the baby stage. They stayed connected. They could talk. Their physical intimacy stayed connected. So I just want to encourage you to think of something that you can do. And every season's different, so this is all going to look different depending on the season that you're in. Another thing you can do is just make sure you're connecting, like texting, maybe texting daily, or making sure, like even when you go to bed at night, instead of just going to bed and turning over and going to sleep, or having sex and going over and go to sleep, lay there and talk, cuddle, like lay your head on his shoulder and put your arms around her, and connect, have intimacy, feel close to each other, because I promise you, if you start implementing some of these things, it's really going to make a huge difference. Another couple, they got where they just went away a couple of times a year for like a long weekend. And maybe you can't do that. So another couple, they couldn't get away. So during the day, they had the kind of schedule they could do it. They'd get away to a hotel a couple of times a month, And they'd just be there for 46 hours, and no, they wouldn't go to just have sex, but I'm sure they did sometimes. But they went to connect. They went to talk, to just to be together. So, so the very first thing is relational margin. The next thing, and I think this is so important, is having fun together, playing together, laughing together. Don't you remember when you first started dating, and maybe you're like, oh, I've been married 30 years, I don't remember that. But like, you had so much fun together. You'd stay on the phone till all hours of the night, laughing, and everything was fun. You did fun things. You enjoyed each other. You were dating. And in marriage, you don't ever want to really stop dating, but that's what happens when all these things start to just be pushed aside, and you're just busy, and we're busy, and we're just busy. How are you doing? I'm good, but I'm busy. You're going to have to prioritize your marriage if you want anything different. You're going to have to push it to the center of your home. Your children can't be the center of your home. Your marriage has to be the center of your home. Other than God, your spouse has to be the most important person in your life. And your marriage affects your home. It makes your children feel safe, makes them feel loved. And so this is also going to affect your home. Maybe you don't have children yet. Maybe you don't want children, but it does affect your home. Plan together. Sit down and list some things, like what could we do that we would really think was fun, or I'll ask you, maybe you're the husband listening. What would she love if you did this with her? Like, you don't want to do it, but she would absolutely love it. What would that be? Do that. But maybe you're the wife listening. What would he love if you did? Like, oh my gosh, I remember one lady, and this is profound. It was a profound effect on her marriage. They just weren't connecting, and they were just not in a good place, and they loved each other, but they just were so far apart, and fighting more, arguing more, distance. And I says, well, what would he love you to do with him? She goes, oh, he would totally love it if I go fishing, but I don't like fishing. I know, but he does. So he was blown away that she wanted to go fishing with him. She did that, and you know what? I'm not saying that one little thing completely healed their marriage, but it started a healing because he saw that she really was trying. He knew she couldn't stand fishing, like it grossed her out, but you know what? She took a book and she sat out there with him and fished, and what happened is just by a natural connection, they start talking. So that's one thing. And then this other guy, he said, yeah, my wife would love it if I took her out to dinner downtown and took her to a play. But gosh, that's not a guy thing. And I'm like, I know, but it's a girl thing. It is a guy thing for some guys. So, but this specific guy, he wasn't into that. But he did it, and she kept thanking him all night. He was blown away how much it actually meant to her. But that's what I'm talking about. Find ways to connect. Get away from the kids. Like, don't let the kids just run your life, and make the marriage the big thing. Make the marriage the big deal. Make your relationship, and just start. And I know you might be saying, Margie, you have no idea how difficult our marriage is. But just one little small change, one little adjustment can make a difference. Even if you just, like I was talking to a guy the other day, and I said, just ask your wife, what is it that you could do? Like, ask her, what can you do to make her feel more loved? What can you do to connect with her? What could we do that would be fun, that you would enjoy doing with me? Ask your wife that. And if you're a woman and listening, ask your husband, like, what could we do together that you would enjoy? What could we do together that we used to do that was fun? Sit down and just talk. I promise you, if you can just find time to have fun, everything can't be so serious all the time, and work and sports and church and stuff well, I'm too committed. I'm overcommitted, and I can't say no to things. And those are things that steal your marriage, your relationship, doing for everybody but your own marriage, your own spouse. Can't say no to things, say yes to the wrong things. Just take a deep breath and relax and sit and talk with your spouse about these things. And then the last thing, well, actually, it's not the last thing. I have two more things, actually. Yeah, I want to do two more. This next one is, it's like the center of your marriage. When this isn't there, your sex life isn't good, your communication isn't good, nothing is good. And I'm talking about an emotional connection. And I know if there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of hurt, this can be extremely difficult to even think about doing this. But I can just tell you in all my coaching, until a married couple gets to this place, you can't connect. You can't hear each other. You won't feel seen by each other. You won't feel understood by each other. And your marriage, your partner, that should be your safe place where you don't have to hide. You don't feel judged. You don't feel like they're always going to correct you. They don't shame you, guilt you. Like, these are common things that happen in marriage. And you got to think about these things. Like, you can't expect a person's heart to connect with you if they feel like you're always going to correct them, you're always trying to change them, you're always being critical, judging. No, they should feel like you want to hear them. It's not about being right or wrong. It's learning to listen to that other person and care about what they're feeling. Because that's what emotional connection is I care about you and I care about how you're feeling. It doesn't mean their feelings are right or wrong. It just means that's how they feel. If your spouse, if your wife, if your husband, if they know that you really care about how they feel, that's going to make them feel respected. That's going to make them feel that you care, that you're listening, that you value them. And that's how you connect. Like maybe your wife says to you, I just don't feel loved by you. And here's the normal response. You want to react like, what are you talking about? Like, I work my tail off. I've given you this house and whatever you want, and we take vacations and all the stuff. And see, that's the wrong response. She's not trying to attack you. She's just trying to tell you how she feels. And so if you just say, honey, I care about that. I don't want you to feel like I don't love you. Of course I love you. See, that right there brings her wall down, where you can speak to her, where she can hear you, where she can feel connected to you, feel loved by you. And that's when you just like, okay, let's talk about that. What is it that I do that makes you feel like I don't love you? Or what can I do that would make you feel loved? See, what that makes her want to do is turn around and love you and respect you. That's the way love works. You get love by giving love. She's going to want to love you back. And maybe with your husband, he's just like, I just feel so judged by you. Like, you're always trying to correct me. I feel if it hurts. It's just, I feel so disconnected. And part of you wants to be like, well, of course, how can I respect you? All the things you do. And see, that's not the right response. The right response is, I'm sorry, honey. I can see what you're saying, and that's terrible that you feel that way. I'm so sorry. Let's talk about it. And I know this sounds oversimplified, but until you get to this place where you really care about that other person's heart and what they're experiencing, what they feel, instead of blaming, like they're trying to tell you how they feel, and you're like, well, you do the same thing, and here's what you do to me, and that's just, all that is reacting. You can't get anywhere like that. Then you go your separate ways, you come back and apologize, I'm sorry, and maybe you go have makeup sex, and then everything's great. Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. You haven't dealt with what's going on inside of you. That other person, they haven't dealt with what's going on inside of them, and everything just stays the same and nothing changes. You got to realize you can't just keep saying, I'm sorry, and nothing changes. And the only way to change is to get to the root, what's going on inside. And sometimes what you're experiencing in your marriage is how you grew up. It's just a filter. Like, I remember, one session I was in, and this man was like, he was, I don't want to do that because she's going to get mad at me. She's going to yell at me. And she's sitting right there. And I knew the couple really well. And I just never knew that was something she did. And so I asked her, I'm like, do you yell? And she's like, no. And I looked at him and I'm like, does she yell? And he's like, well, no, I just get nervous that she's going to, because that's what my mom did. Sometimes you got your mom filter, you got your dad filter, and that's why you got to talk. Like, you got to talk, because sometimes it's just a filter. And I just hope you think about these things. Finding relational margin, finding room for each other, making room. You won't just find it. It doesn't happen by chance. These are choices you have to make. You have to push forward. You have to push your marriage to a place in your life where it's getting the priority that it needs. But relational margin, playing together, finding emotional space together where you can talk, and on a daily basis, get to where you do it on a daily. Check in. How you doing, honey? How are things? That situation at work that you were so concerned about. Check in with each other. It's not always super, super deep, but you got to go deep at times to even get to a place where you feel connected, feel in love again. Let me tell you one quick story. I just thought of this. This guy came to me very first session, and he said to me, I know you don't know me, but I've been kind of, following you and on social media, and I just really feel comfortable that you can help me with this. I want to bring my wife in here next week, and I want to tell her in front of you that I want a divorce. Needless to say, I was shocked, and I'm like, okay, hold on. And I said, I'll do that if you'll come to see me for a few times, and we'll talk through all this. And long story short, their marriage got completely healed. Why? Because all that was wrong is they hadn't connected for so long, and he didn't feel the feelings of love. He wanted to divorce her. They just needed to connect. They just needed to talk. They just needed to hear each other and listen and actually value each other's perspectives and opinions and how they were feeling and heal together. And then here's the last habit. And I think this is the most important one, is pray together. You're like, whoa, we don't do that. I'm not praying with her. He won't pray with me. She won't pray with me. Well, okay, maybe you don't. But if you can start there, that'd be great. Just make it simple. Like take each other's hands or just lay in bed holding each other and just pray something simple. God, just help us in our marriage. Help my wife and just give her grace and let her know how much I love her. Show her how much I love her, honey. Show her how much I love her, and then maybe you turn to your spouse like, honey, will you pray for me? And then pray for him. Like, Lord, just help him. Open his eyes to help him see how valuable he is to me, how much I love him. Just something simple. And then here's the big one, is pray for each other on your own, because you know what it'll do is it'll change your heart, and it'll help you to have God's eyes for your spouse. It'll help you to see the good when everything has just been so bad. It gives you gratitude. Gratitude is so powerful, and it'll give you that gratitude. It'll help you it will change your heart. And just when you're praying, just say, Lord, show me my wife's heart, and show me the good in her that you see. And then the same for your husband. Like, Lord, he's a good man. I know he's a good man. I just need to see more of that. Show me how you see him. Heal our marriage. Work in us. And I promise you that if you do, these 4 things, just start with one. Just pick the one you think is the easiest. Start there. Maybe play together more. Go do some fun stuff. But anyway, let me pray with you really quick before we go. Father, I just thank you so much. Jesus, you are so good, and you love this man listening to this video, this woman listening to this video. You deeply care about their marriage. And I just ask you, Father, to start a healing, start something really special, deepen their love, strengthen their bond that they have, give them an unshakable bond. Let this be one of the best years that they have ever had in their marriage. And I thank you for it in Jesus' name. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening. And I just believe that these 4 habits are going to change your marriage.